Peace and blessings in the corner box of 24. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everybody's well. I'm doing pretty good. Guys, as always, God is good, God is great. And, I'm blessed to be here, man. Glad, you know. Um, yeah, I just got in, man. Had a nice bike ride, So I said, let me do a little video real quick before I jump in the shower. But I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez, man, and Triple G, this third fight that's coming up. And Eddie Hearn, man, the promoter for the Zone, who's actually promoting this third fight between Triple G and Canelo. Which, by the way, when Canelo was on HBO and pay-per-view, he did way better numbers, man. And Eddie Hearn revealed that today. I don't know if he thought he was really saying something else, but he really just showed that, the Zone, since he's been with the Zone, he hasn't been making any big numbers. He tried to say 600,000 to 700,000 to a million pay-per-view buys, but no, it's been more like 600 to 700,000. Hasn't been great, but when he was with HBO, he was doing a million and more, He was doing better buys. So I don't know, the Zone thing, man, is not really the hottest ticket, right? But what I really want to talk about, man, is that Eddie Hearn tried to clean up what he said last week. He made a comment last week saying that Canelo Alvarez and Triple G was a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Which we all know that ain't true. And there's no way that's a bigger fight. This is the third fight between them. Canelo beat him, to me, in both fights, okay? But he got a win and a draw out of it. But damn sure for a third fight, ain't no bigger fight than Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. That's a fight that everybody wants to see. I don't know too many people that would pay to see Canelo Alvarez and Triple G for a third fight, right? And I don't know too many people that's even talking about it, honestly. I'm a boxing fan, so I'm going to watch it. But people ain't knocking down the door to see no third fight between Triple G and Canelo Alvarez, so it's definitely not a bigger fight. But he said that last week, so now yesterday, to clean it up, he said Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is a fight between two elite, is a boxing match between two elite fighters, and Triple G and Canelo is a boxing match between two legends. Now, I'm going to start with the legend thing, right? Because I know damn well I ain't stupid. Triple G is not no legend, okay? If you look at his 44 fights, he got 44 fights on his belt, 37 knockouts. You look at his 44 fights, his toughest fights was Canelo Alvarez was the toughest. Derevyanchenko, which is a fight that I thought he lost a couple of years ago. I was at that fight. I thought he lost that fight. And Danny Jacobs. Those were his toughest fights. So how is he a legend when in 44 fights, he don't even got 10, 15 good fights that you know what I'm saying? Or good fighters under his belt, right? No, he's definitely not no legend, all right? Now, on the other hand, Canelo, we know his record. He fought some of the best. Top fighters, champions, ex-champions. He fought the great Floyd Mayweather, of course. He lost, but he learned a whole lot from that fight. He fought Erislandy Lara, one of the best or the greatest Cuban boxers ever. Fight that was very close that could have went to Lara, right? So that's how you know what kind of fights that Canelo has fought, because that was a fight that could have went to Lara. Mayweather beat him. You know what I'm saying? Then he fought Danny Jacobs, right? Then he fought Caleb Plant. Then he fought Billy Joe Saunders, undefeated. Caleb Plant, undefeated, right? Then he fought Dimitri Bivol, undefeated. Lost. But look at the fighters that I just named, right, off the rip. That's just 5 off the rip, right? and then look at the three that's all you have for Gennady Golovkin, Triple G. He ain't no legend, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, and I could keep going on and on with that list with Canelo, right? Austin Trout fought these dudes in their prime, right? Austin Trout, that was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at his record, man, way better. Way better. There's no comparison with Triple G. And again, Triple G's not no legend. Now they may put him into the Boxing Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? They probably will because they only got one loss out of the 44 fights in a draw. They may do that, 37 knockouts, but he ain't no legend. Definitely not gonna say that. So now, for him to try to clean it up and say that, now on the flip side, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, I would say they two elite fighters. They two elite welterweight fighters. They're at the top of their game. Errol Spence is 28, with 22 knockouts. Hell of a record. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got to break down the opponents and how he did what he did. But he's 28-0 with 22 knockouts. But Crawford is 39-0. 38-0, pardon me, with 29 knockouts. Hell of a record. Started from the bottom of the map, 35-47. He was undisputed at 140, right? So he know what that's about. He had all the belts, right? Now he's at 147. He came in at 147 a few years ago, came in the door, and he fought the man that beat the man. I don't care what nobody say. It was a close fight, but with Jeff Horn and Pacquiao, but it ain't like Jeff Horn wasn't touching him up, okay? You could say Pacquiao won the fight. They shouldn't have gave it to him, but he sure got that. They sure gave him the win. They did give him the win, regardless. And Terrence Crawford fought him and beat him. And that was his entrance into the welterweight division. Because maybe if he wouldn't have fought Horn, he would have fought Pacquiao. Maybe. Everything happens for a reason, because maybe he wouldn't have got to fight Pacquiao coming in the door like that. So I don't know, man. But I just know, man, when I look at Terrence Crawford, that's his introduction into the welterweight division. Errol Spence has always been a welterweight. But I'll agree with Bud when he said that his toughest fight, honestly, was Kell Brook. And that fight went 11 rounds. That was his toughest fight, though. And that was a fight that Kell Brook took less than a year after he got damaged by Triple G. So I'm not trying to take nothing from Errol Spence, man, but was he really ready for that fight? Was he really healthy? And then he got damaged again? I don't know, man. So I don't know if I can give him all the credit for that, but honestly, that really was his toughest fight. Now I could say this, okay? When I think about it now, that was his toughest fight a few years ago. But overall, who was his toughest fight? His toughest fight was Sean Porter. Because in the Sean Porter fight, he could have lost that fight. That fight could have been a draw or could have went to Porter. Without that knockdown, that fight was definitely a draw. And that fight could have really leaned towards Sean Porter. Okay, so that really was his toughest fight. So do I agree with the Kell Brook analysis, Bud? I got to give it to Sean Porter. That really was his toughest fight. Okay? So yeah, they're two elite fighters. They both come to fight. Errol Spence is a straight come forward fighter. He throw 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3, 1-2, 3. He throw his 1-2 hook, 1-2 hook, 1-2 body, throw his jab. You know what I mean? He's pretty mechanical. He's pretty straightforward. He's pretty telltale. He tells you what he's gonna do. Comes forward, boom, 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 boom. He comes straight forward. That's just what he does, right? And he throws the same punches, so nothing changes, right? And you can see it coming. That's the other thing. I mean, I watched the replays of fights. I just watched Ugas again. Like you could see those punches coming. You could see those punches coming. And you hear, you moving, you stepping back, you stepping over here, you stepping over here, right? He throwing a punch here. You coming this way, you stepping over here. He coming this way, you stepping over here. Like, you can move with him. But anyway, Terrence Crawford's a little different. He's a counter puncher. He's fast, good footwork. He could go backwards. Got a nice hook. He could pop. You know what I mean? Uppercut. I mean, he got a few things in the arsenal that he could really work with, that he could really do. So, it's definitely a fight between two elite fighters. So Eddie Hearn, he came with that. He tried to clean that up. But now Eddie Hearn, Triple G is not no legend. All right? We're not going to go there. But Canelo is. He's a legend. He's probably the greatest, if not the greatest, definitely one of the greatest fighters, Mexican fighters ever. I say the greatest. Based on his work, based on the fighter that he fought, and based on what he has done. He came from 147 as well. Went all the way to 175. Now, 175 is not his division, but he's undisputed at 168. Triple G is not going to beat him at 168, 160. Not going to happen. I think Canelo will beat Benavidez. I think he'll beat Charlo. I think he'll have a harder time with Benavidez because of the height and the reach. I think he'll really have to be defensive for the first few rounds and move his head and get up inside Benavidez. He have to jab his way in, pick his shots, right? Take his time. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean? Take his time, right? That's what he got to do. You got to use your jab, Canelo. You could beat Benavidez, man. He's not hard to beat. Throw some nice stomach shots. Some nice stomach shots at him. Throw your hooks. Come with your uppercut. Come with your hook, right? Boom, your right, your overhand. You could beat him. But you got to be in close for some of those shots. You orthodox. Throw 2 jabs. Boop, boop. Come with your overhand. You know how to fight. He know how to fight, man. You know what I mean? Like that overhand that he caught Amir Khan with. That was a perfect punch. Come on, man. Look at the shot he caught Kovalev with. Another ex-champion. See, I could keep naming fighters, man, that Canelo fought, man, and makes him a legend. But yeah, man, that's what I wanted to talk about. So again, I'm gonna watch Triple G and Canelo because I'm a boxing fan. I'm into boxing like that, man. But don't get it twisted, man. Triple G is not no legend. All right, and Derevyanchenko, man, he really beat Triple G, man. That was a tough fight for him. He didn't win that fight, man. Danny Jacobs gave him some fits too. You see what Canelo did. Ain't nobody ever backed Triple G up and had him thinking like that. And really, the most he could do with Canelo, honestly, was that jab. He got a hell of a jab now. And that was really the most that he did. He really couldn't do too much more than that jab, That was the best thing he had going with Canelo. And, there was times, of course, that he missed. Canelo made a miss. And if Canelo is defensive like he can be, that jab is not even going to work for him in this third fight. If Canelo really move his head like he know how to move, you know what I'm saying? And get up under them punches, man, Triple G ain't got nothing coming, bro. So we're going to see. That fight's coming up on September 17th. Hopefully we'll get Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, the 2 elite fighters, in October. All right? It seemed like there's little sayings here there about this roadblock. Crawford need to do this, Crawford need to do that. I don't know, it just seems like there's always something, man. Like there's something in the way. I don't know if it's just people putting up bogus videos, but it just seems like there's always something going on, man. And they're trying to put it on Crawford. So we're going to see what happens, man, all right? Peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of the evening. Be safe. Wear your mask, social distance. Like I always say, COVID is still here. Hasn't gone anywhere. Plus, you don't want nobody coughing and sneezing on you anyway. I wear my mask regardless. Okay, when I'm out and about, I'm in my car, I'm good. But once I get out that car, I got that mask on. I don't want nobody sneezing on me and coughing on me. Okay? So that's what I do. Please subscribe to the page. Please leave your comments. And we're going to keep trying to bring some good content. All right? Peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Peace.